Good morning and welcome to Kramer's Corner with Daily Technical Update. It is Thursday the 15th of April. This video is for educational purpose only. There's no recommendation or advice whatsoever intended. It's purely to demonstrate how I try to read the market using technical analysis and my 30 plus years experience of trading. And let's kick off with euro dollar as usual on this technical update on forex markets. On the currency market, euro dollar pushed higher yesterday, pausing a little bit here overnight. Just trading around the upper part of the cloud, just below the 118.25 resistance. RSI is showing positive sentiment. There's no divergence, indicating likely higher levels. We could see a little bit of a setback, but I think it will take out 118.25. And could push to 119.25. However, we can see that the 55 moving average is still declining, so dragging on a little bit. But I think we will see pushing higher here nevertheless. The sterling dollar flirting with the resistance at 135.75. Also positive sentiment, no divergence, indicating likely higher levels. Could also set back a little bit here. We can see the 55 moving average is still declining a little bit, so that's the shorter to medium term moving average that is dragging on it. But we are in a bullish trend, but you also know there will be some corrections, and we could see maybe a little bit of correction down to around 135 before next push higher. But again, it looks fairly strong. So if taking out the peak from yesterday, then I think we will continue towards 137. And it will that scenario will continue or play along as long as we stay above the lows here from 133.65. The spike low there, then we are still in a bullish trend. Euro sterling, slightly lower there, but still not clear picture, but we are in a correction phase. If it takes out the lows here from the 13th of April, well, then we could see it sliding back lower to around 86.50. However, I think it will bounce a little bit, crawl back above the cloud, and maybe have another go at the resistance up here around 87.40-45. Still positive sentiment, but you can see it sliding back. I think we could keep continuing. The 55 moving average is still holding on a little bit, but let's see what will play out. Keep an eye on this candle here. I think that will be decisive. Above it, above the peak there at 87.25, then I think we'll push higher. Dollar yen, it can't really make up its mind, so maybe it's trading in this triangle-like pattern here, symmetrical triangle-like pattern. Let's see if it breaks out of it. Then we have a better idea of the direction. And I also added some horizontal line. So we have some support here at 157.50, but we also have a bit of support here at 156.80, where we have first of all, we have the 55 moving average coming up close to that support there. Also adding that to the support area, we have the 100 coming up there. So also support, I think eventually we will see it pushing higher, but I need confirmation or breakout. And if it takes out 160 and a change, 160 and a little bit here, well, then I think we'll see a push higher above 161. But for now, it can't really make up its mind, so it's just trading sideways, maybe in a tighter range. That's the triangle-like pattern. Euro yen stalling a little bit, but should be pushing higher. Positive sentiment, no divergence, indicating a likely push above 188, 188.30, possibly higher. The Aussie yen also crawling higher, and I think we could quite shortly, maybe today, maybe tomorrow, test the 113.95, the peak here, and also push towards 150. After 115 plus 116 up to 138.2 projection of this correction here. Moving on to sterling yen, and it has reached and then some the 161.8 projection of this little correction here. Of the bigger one, there's still room higher, and I think we'll see it crawling higher, but it is a little bit stressed. However, still positive sentiment on the RSI, indicating likely higher levels. But you should always be prepared for a little bit of a setback, a little bit of correction, especially when you've seen more or less what 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 days, basically almost 2 weeks of bullish trading here. And we should see some correction, but the bullish trend is intact, and could push above 216 towards 217. On the Aussie dollar, also crawling higher, above 786 retracement there, just above 71. Headed for previous peak, RSI back above 60 threshold, indicating higher levels, and I think it will challenge that peak there at 71, just below 71.90, and it should give it energy to push higher. Let's just have a quick look on the weekly. We'll see again how significant this level is, but I think we will take out and also reach 72. There's currently no divergence on the RSI. Building up here, but it can go on for quite some time. Dollar Canada dipped below support yesterday and below the 50% retracement of this bullish move here. But then we have the 55 coming up, giving it some support. However, if it takes out the lows from yesterday, then we could see it setting that back further down to around 137. But let's see. I suspect that it will maybe turn around. But again, here the conflict interest. We have the shorter to medium term moving average 55 coming up here, giving some support. But then we have the medium to longer term 100 moving average dragging it lower. RSI is in a positive sentiment, still hasn't broken below 40, but it is under pressure here and could test the 40 threshold, so be careful what it does. If it takes out the lows from yesterday, as I said, well, then we could see it push lower towards the upper part of the cloud and 137 there. Other than that, keep an eye on if it suddenly starts to turn around, and then you need to keep an eye on your intraday charts like 30 or 60 minute chart. The EURUSD not really doing much. It's broken this rising trend line. It's not the strongest one anyway. So we are below the 100 moving average. We could sit back to around 91.60 support area here and 38.2, and then we still have the strong resistance here at 92.65.70. You can see the 200 coming down, really strong resistance. We have tested it a couple of times. Dollar Swiss below support and below the upper part of cloud and below the 55 moving average. Negative sentiment now. We could see it dipping lower towards 77.5, the lower part of cloud, and then I think we'll see a little bit of a bounce. So keep an eye on what's going on there, but for now I think we could see it pushing lower. The two longer term to medium term moving averages, the 200 and the 100 declining, 55 still coming up, but we are below it, so we could drag it lower a little bit. If it crawls back above here and back above 78.50 area, then we maybe could see a little bit of a further bounce, but again, we are in a bearish trend. The dollar index below the support there at 98, trying here this early morning to get back above it. So far it has failed, and I could foresee that we could see a push down to around the 97.5, 97.44 support here and the lower part of the cloud. Negative sentiment on the RSI indicating likely low levels, but don't be surprised if you see a little bit of a correction within the next 24, 36 hours and then a push lower. We are definitely a trend. It really needs to, first of all, get back above 98.48 and above the cloud here, then it could have a go at 98.98 resistance and the gap area here, but that's not really in the card at the moment. But again, it could play out. So let's see what's been going on the interest side. The US 10-year Treasury yield has sat back further yesterday, and if it takes out the lows there from last week at 4.23, then expect a push down to around 4.17 area here. Then have the the 100 and the 200 moving average giving some support. I could see a dip down there and then a fairly strong bounce. Still positive sentiment on the R side, but could dip below the 40 threshold and then possibly a bounce. Looking at the European yields, basically trading sideways, moving sideways in a fairly large range here between 290. It actually dipped down there. We have a stronger here at 294, 290 and 313. So it's a fairly broad range, but you can see it's been undecided here for a couple of weeks now. So we need direction, but it can go on for quite some time. So let's see what will go. It's hard to predict which direction it will take at the moment. We have the UK 10 sitting back a little bit yesterday, but it is also in a correction state that could slide lower towards the actually down to maybe even down to around the 460, 457 area here, where we have some stronger support. And it needs to take out the 495 to get back in a bullish mode with a chance to push above the 511, 512 here. Finally, on the Japanese yen, sitting back a little bit today, so there's 250 was really a strong resistance, and we could actually see it breaking this rising trend line there, maybe dipping down to 237 before a bounce. So keep an eye on that. However, we're still in a positive sentiment. There's just maybe no divergence actually, so it should push higher after a little bit of correction. The 250 could come under attack once again. So keep an eye on that. All right, that's all for today on the currencies and interest rate markets. Keep charting out there and have a nice day.